Hi, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live show here. It's Wednesday. Hope you all are having a great week so far. I am Kay Wilson, for those of you who are new to our following. Um, and so today I'm here to talk about some of the options and some new happenings as it relates to studying in Canada. So as you guys pop in, I'll give you some moments to come on in. For those joining us on Facebook and on Instagram, welcome, guys. And as per usual, as you join in, let me know where in the world are you joining me from. I'm coming to you live from Regina in Saskatchewan, Canada. Where are you joining me from? We had some delays with our broadcast, but here we are. Okay, guys. So they we've talked a lot about this in previous videos about choosing where you go to study, when you're coming to Canada. Hi, Lani from Jamaica, welcome. And Tone George, I hope I said that right, from Lagos, Nigeria. Thanks for joining. Okay, so like I said, we have talked a lot about looking at your options as it relates to if you're coming to Canada as an international graduate, an international student, and the ability to get your post-graduation work permit at the end of your studies in order for you to see that pathway, right, to applying for permanent residence. And the general recommendation usually is to apply to a public college, so public college or university that offers programs that are eligible for the post-graduation work permit, right? And I see Kevin joining from Trinidad. Welcome, Kevin. So what I want to touch on today was some news coming out of New Brunswick. So if you're ever looking for a province that is immigration friendly, some really good immigration programs, very easy to apply for permanent residence, then you definitely want to look at this province, New Brunswick. So New Brunswick is one of the maritime provinces of Canada. It's located on the far east. So New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland, those are all together called the Maritime Provinces or the Atlantic Provinces, right? So that's the Atlantic region in Canada. And so they announced just recently and some exciting, very exciting announcement that I really wanted to touch on today. For those of you who are looking at the option of studying in Canada as a pathway to permanent residence, right? It's not an option for everybody, obviously. I'd love to see how many of you here are at least even remotely interested in coming to study. Let me see in the comments. Do I have enough people that want to hear about this information? Or have you applied to study before? Like, what are your plans? Do you want to come to Canada to study? Do you want to just apply for permanent residence from where you are? Or you don't even know? You don't even know what your options are. Okay, so I said Mrs. Noel says her husband wants to. Okay, and Tishay says yes. Okay, so your husband wants to do his master's. All right. It is a great option for those who can. And then I see Comfort Felix says yes. Okay. All right. It's a great option if you can afford it, and also if none of the other permanent residence programs are working out. Right. And even if you do qualify, so like Mrs. Noel says, okay, so you qualify for express entry, but your husband really wants to study. And I mean, I think it's a pathway that you'll have to, if you qualify for both, PR options as well as this, you have to weigh your options. So it depends on the programs that you're looking at and that you qualify for. And then what are your priorities? How quickly do you want to be in Canada? What's your budget, right? Can you afford it? So you have to look at all those factors when you're thinking about using studying as a pathway to permanent residence, and how likely are you to get your study permit approved. So there are a lot of factors that go into it. You have to look at your previous immigration history. Some people may have had a prior refusal, right? So that, because the option to study is it's a temporary resident program, right? These applications tend to be very discretionary, so you have to be very careful about what you put in the application, right? And I'm just going back and forth here. So I have some friends joining on Facebook as well. So those are some of the things that you'll have to consider. Another big part of the puzzle, though, when you do decide to look at this option of studying, you have to ensure generally that the school and the program that you're applying to is PGWP eligible, right? So some of you may know what I'm talking about, but for those who don't, in order for you to eventually be able to apply for permanent residency, you typically want to ensure that your program will make you eligible once you're finished to apply for a post-graduation work permit. This post-graduation work permit will be issued for the same duration of your studies if you study for 1 year, right? Generally, the 1 year programs are 8 months in duration. Then, aside from that, if you study for 2 years or longer, then you typically would be eligible for a 3-year work permit. But again, remember, the program that you select plays a big role in you being eligible for that or not. Additionally, you want to think about the province of destination. Where will you be studying? What are the opportunities there once you're done, right? What are the job opportunities there? What are the immigration opportunities there? What's available in that province? And if nothing is available, are you prepared to move? Are you prepared to relocate at the end of studying? So these are some of the things that you'll have to think about. And for those who have done, study consultations with us, or if you haven't, these are some of the things that we work with. We work with you on to come up with a strategy for your migration, right? And then we'll provide guidance on what do you do? What are the steps that I need to take? And upon making this assessment, we come up with a plan and we work towards that goal, whatever it is that we decide to do. And it doesn't mean that because you're pursuing one option, you have to put aside everything else. No, you can actually look at multiple options at the same time. I have clients that are doing that. Okay. And so where this program in New Brunswick comes into play, so they're creating some new immigration streams. Good news. Of course, new immigration programs are always good news, right? It means more opportunities for people who are interested in coming to Canada to migrate. Okay, so they have some new immigration streams that are geared at international graduates of private colleges. And so why is this a big news? Why is this so important? Okay, so with private colleges generally, those are some of the colleges where you would not normally be eligible for a post-graduation work permit. So if you get accepted into a private college, generally you would not be, depending on the program. And there is actually a list on the IRCC's website where you can find out if your school is eligible. Okay, so there's a list there, because in the past I've had a number of students who have come to me from inside Canada. They have gone through so just imagine you've applied to come to school in Canada, you paid your tuition, you got accepted and all of that, you apply for your study permit, and then you come to Canada, you go through your 1 year or your 2 year. In this case, these students, they were from Ontario. They went through the 2 years of their program. So they have finished, and now you're excited. You're saying, okay, now that I've finished, I'm going to apply for my, post-grad work permit, get a job, apply for my PR, right? You have your planning set, right? Now, what happened with these students, they they did all of that. So they applied, they completed the program, then they applied for their post-grad work permits, and then only to find out that they were not eligible. So I was literally, my emails were bombarded with around 10 students from the same school, same program. They emailed me, they phoned, they were just calling to see what we could do. They wanted to move to Saskatchewan because, like I said, they were from Ontario. They completed 2 years of studies, and when they applied for their postgrad work permit, it was not until that time when they got their refusal that they realized that the program that they have been doing all these 2 years was not eligible. Can you imagine? After spending 2 years of tuition, 2 years of living expenses, and of course, your time, right? So they were not eligible. And so we had to really work with them. It was a lot of work to try to find another option. Of course, they called because they were looking at Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, for those who don't know, tends to have some really good programs as well in terms of immigration options. Okay, so much better than Ontario. So that is the situation where you find yourself generally if you go to a private college and their programs are not eligible for the postgrad work permit. Typically, it's the public schools, so the public colleges, public universities that will be eligible, right? And there are some exceptions. So as a rule of thumb, I would say always go back to the list. There's a list online, like I mentioned. So there's a list on the IRCC's website. Always go back to that list and check before applying to a school. So that's my recommendation, just so that you are on the safe side. And if you're comfortable with applying to a private college and knowing that you won't be eligible for a postgrad work permit, then make sure you have a plan. So with this program, New Brunswick, this will be the only province so far that's doing this, right? So it's a stream that's geared at helping international graduates who study in New Brunswick at participating private colleges. So they have identified 4 colleges in New Brunswick that the IRCC, along with the provincial government, will be partnering with, and they will be providing. So they're actually creating permanent residence programs that will help you to apply for permanent residence even after studying at a private college. So now that you have the background about, studying in a private college versus a public college, now you can see the logic behind this, right? Hopefully. So they have 4 participating colleges. So they have Atlantic Business College, Eastern College, Mackenzie College, and Olton College. So these 4 colleges will be working with the government to ensure that students who study at these colleges, even though they're private colleges, so of course you won't be able to apply for a postgrad work permit, they are actually going to create a specific pathway for these students to apply for permanent residency. No, we don't have all the details of the program. It's gonna start April 1st, 2022. So that's the tentative date that they have set. And they will actually release more details about the program coming this fall. So fall starts next month, right? So we're hoping to get some information soon. In order to be eligible, so what they have done, they have listed some targeted occupations, right? So private colleges with students who will be studying or have work experience in these targeted occupations. So this is just a pilot program. And what I've seen though with a lot of these pilot programs, they do so well that they turn them into permanent programs, right? One of which is, one example is the Atlantic Immigration Pilot. That was a pilot program and now it's ongoing indefinitely. So it's now called the Atlantic Immigration Program, right? So that's one example. And so some of the occupations that they are looking at is and the reason why they're doing this is they're looking at the labor market in New Brunswick. New Brunswick needs people. That's a fact, right? They need immigrants, they need workers. Uh, and so that's why they have been very newcomer friendly, and they have been, their programs like the PNP programs there. We have had very good experience working with them and with our clients. The nominations come within days, after applying for PNP. So it's a great province. And so some of the targeted occupations include social and community service workers. You have early childhood educators. That's a big one. Early childhood educators and assistants, educational assistants, healthcare aides, home support workers. They have licensed practical nurses and paramedics, medical. So a lot of healthcare and educational roles. So medical lab technologists. They have medical lab technicians, computer programmers and interactive media developers, web developers and designers, computer network technicians, user support technicians, accounting technicians and bookkeepers, payroll clerks, shippers and receivers, supply chain and logistics supervisors, and production and logistic coordinators. So like I said, more about the actual program itself, the permanent residence program, will be available come the fall. And as they provide more details about it, we'll definitely update you guys for, with more details. And so if it's a case where you have work experience in these occupations that I just mentioned, or you are interested in pursuing further studies in Canada, whether to further your education or to use that route as a pathway to permanent residence, these definitely sound like some great programs and opportunities in New Brunswick, even outside of studying. New Brunswick clearly is looking for skilled workers, right? And they have the jobs, they have the labor market there that they're looking for workers to fill. So definitely something to keep abreast of for sure. All right. So that's it for that program. Definitely stay tuned if you guys wish to learn more. And if you want to explore the option of coming to Canada to study, you know where to find us. You know where to find me and my team. Go on our website at nccanadaimmigration.com or send us an email, info@nccanadaimmigration.com. And for those of you on Instagram, click on the link in bio and you can schedule a Study in Canada consultation session. I'll be more than happy to help you on that journey. And whatever your immigration needs are, your goal is to come to Canada, keep following. And I'm sure there will be some information here to guide you and to help you on that process, right? In that journey. So thanks for joining, guys. Let's see the comments here. Yeah, thanks guys for joining. We will be having a workshop. Spoiler alert. We'll have a workshop coming up sometime next month. We will release the details of that soon, so stay tuned. And I'll catch up with you guys over the weekend. Have a great rest of your day, your Wednesday, and I'll catch up with you guys over the weekend, most likely on Saturday. All right. Thanks, Javon. Have a good one.